Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Jukebox from Hell. That's right, that future award-winning show where we end up discussing about albums that do they really deserve to be in the Jukebox from Hell. And I know that some people have actually asked me to do this episode that we are doing right now, always powered by coffee each and every time. You'll have to forgive me. This will be a little bit longer of an episode than maybe some of you people are used to, but due to the subject matter of today's LP. Now, on your scorecards, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, we're looking at episode 51 of Jukebox from Hell. We are going to be discussing the self-titled 1994 album from Motley Crue. That's right. Here's the front. Here's the back. Now, I have not been able to find a vinyl copy. Now, as far as I know, original vinyl from '94 goes for a lot, but I'm told they reissued it. Till then, though, you get the CD version review from me. And your booklet, of course, is going to look like this. We've got all different kinds of things. All different oh boy, some of that I can't show you. But how about that? One of those pictures. And such. You do get some lyric sleeves, some lyric portions here, and such. Here's a nice upside down shot, if you will, too. Anyways, so we got a little bit longer in the tooth in the research department today. This album here came out. By the way, the research today, Motley Crue's official website, wiki, all music, and a little bit of an interesting interview from John Corabi, who we're going to talk about this here. This is the sixth studio album that Motley Crue put out in March of 1994. The previous album happened to be Decade of Decadence, 81 to 91. That went to number 2 on the U.S. Billboard charts in September 1991, which had 3 new songs also included in that best of, or greatest hits, if you will. Primal Scream being number 63. I went and listened to that song, and honestly, I'm surprised it wasn't in the top 40. I could have seen it at least in the lower rungs of the top 40. Now, with this one here, like I said, let me explain a little bit. So we go back a little bit. This is the only complete album with John Corabi, and I'll explain that in a bit. Back in 1992, the classic lineup were thrown back in the studio to create the next album on a 2-week on, 2-week off schedule. Early on, Vince Neil quit or fired, whichever version you've heard, or whichever is true, mind you, after falling out with the band. John Corabi was in the Scream. If you've never heard that album, you should check it out. Corabi's something else. He also read a Nikki Sixx interview, which complimented the album Let It Scream, which is what I'm talking about. John contacts Nikki to maybe future collaborate with him. Next thing you know, he's auditioning for Motley Crue. Now, excuse me, Motley Crue gets back Bob Rock, who of course was the producer of Dr. Feelgood. Another excellent album from the Crue. Members were excited for this new project. A second guitarist and a new lyricist. The band tackled current issues and others. Uncle Jack, for example, was about John's real uncle, a convicted pedo. Misunderstood was People with Regrets, and Smoke the Sky about marijuana. Yeah, that's right. We talk about all kinds of things in this thing. Now, my favorite on this album, Hooligan's Holiday, is considered alt metal in some music circles. And the album started at number 7 on the Billboard 200 in March of 94, and it was gold by May of 94. But that's where it kind of stopped dead in its tracks. Very sad. I'm telling you, very sad that it only went that far. It deserved platinum, I'm telling you right now on that. Now, a combination of things killed this album, A, Vince's departure in 92. Some people just did not want to hear anybody else but Vince and Motley Crue. 2, grunge. Grunge started coming out They say, oh, Nirvana killed everything. No, okay, it was just the shift in musical attitude at time from the record companies, from the execs. They're like, grunge was the new flavor, if you will, at that time frame. All right. Three, band and MTV had a falling out, and other reasons. As Paul Harvey would say, page 3. Guests on the album, you get Rob Zombie collaborator Scott Humphrey, who also engineered this album, and Glenn Hughes. Yeah, Glenn Hughes, Deep Purple, solo career, Hughes Thrall, Black Country Communion. He sings backing vocals on Misunderstood. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this album, shall we? Track 1, Power to the Music. Still applies today, this tune. Power to the Music, in the streets indeed. Track 2, Uncle Jack. Like I said, song allegedly about John Corabi's uncle, who was a pedo. Check out the lyrics for more clarification. This song needed to be done in the social construct of the day, honestly. Track 3, Hooligan's Holiday. Okay, my favorite on this album. God, I wish there was more like this from Corabi-led group on this. Nice piece of crunchy metal with a slight grunge feel to it. Track 4, Misunderstood. A profound song on life passing you by in many reasons or means. And to block the pain, we look at the past better days. Track 5, Love Shine. Starts out kind of Orleans Dance With Me vibe. I know that sounds strange, right? But it does to me, with slight acoustic Zep 3 feel too, all right? Lets his love shine in. I could have maybe seen this on a single. There's a handful of these songs that, you had Misunderstood and Hooligan's Holiday were singles, okay? But Love Shine could have been on there. And this next one, Poison Apples, co-written by the band and Bob Rock. I love the slinky, sleazy vibe that name checks Mott the Hoople. You love us, you hate us, and you love us. We're so fucking beautiful, indeed. We go to track 7, Hammered. The seedy, filthy, soul-stealing places like Hollywood, or any soul-sucking device, living or dead. Track 8, Till Death Do Us Part, which was the original title of this LP. Musically like it, but it plods along just a little bit. I think there could have at least been a slight edit involved on that one. Track 9, Welcome to the Numb. Now, I love the start of this one, and my memory serves me, I hope. I actually remember hearing an edited version of this on the radio back in the 90s, all right? This also should have been a single, and there's actually some slight Cheap Trick background vibes on this track. Welcome to the Numb, indeed. Track 10, Smoke the Sky. We talked about that earlier. A kick-ass love song on THC, indeed. Track 11, Dropping Like Flies. A slinky little song about, well, we can't save the world, and it's too late. But I still think that this song could have used a slight edit also. We then close out the album, track 12, Drift Away, a reflective slow song about life, good and bad, and how we deal with it. And it's a nice way to close this album out, that's for sure. Now, I'm throwing a 13th track in here, which wasn't on the CD. I mean, until you went and got the deluxe edition, if you will. But track 13, Hypnotized, was a B-side on one of the singles here, and it really should have been on the album. I think, out of all honesty, they could have fitted in there between a slight edit of Dropping Like Flies and the other track that I brought up already, and I think they could have fit it in there, But that's just my opinion on this. Now, so this is the whole Motley Crue 1994 album. Now, afterwards, you always know there's going to be an afterwards. The tour ends up playing half houses, at least at best on most dates, and it's sad. It's just outright sad. I heard that there was live tapes from this tour, and to tell you the truth, I'd like to hear them, to be honest with you. And like I said before, grunge and other factors killed this. After the tour, they do end up releasing, yes, I've got one of these. This is the US edition, the EP Quaternary. All right, here's the front, here's the back. And this here is 5 songs in the US, 10 on the Japanese edition of leftovers from the 1994 LP. If you like the 1994 LP, just warning you ahead of time, this is a little bit different material. Not bad, just different, giving you a warning on that. So I'm telling you truthfully, okay, to seek these out. All right, seek these out. If you're a Motley Crue fan or not, all right, now to finish the rest of the story. And they started working on what would end up being Generation Swine, which would come out in the summer of '97. Now, the problem is there was mass firings in the Motley Crue camp, and changes with the Warner CEO pushed the band to get rid of Karabi in late '96. Bob Rock also let go. Scott Humphrey gets promoted to producer, which I think that was a big mistake too, but whatever. No offense, Scott. But on Generation Swine, even though Vince is back on this LP, Karabi plays rhythm guitar and backing vocals on maybe half of this album at least, okay? So you get a taste of what it would have been like for Motley Crue to be a 5-piece, all right, on Generation Swine. So let me ask you something truthfully here, ladies and gentlemen. Oops, ladies and gentlemen. Did you end up getting this? I'm telling you, I did when it first came out. I wish I could tell you this was my copy. No, it's not. But I found this. I'm not kidding you. I found this for like $2 at a Goodwill. And the Quaternary found this $2 at a flea market. Go figure. And which maybe we'll end up doing a Quaternary review some other time down the line. But so did you end up getting this? Are you a Motley Crue fan? What do you think? Did the band make a big mistake firing John Corabi? I think they did, to be honest with you. And do the whole Motley Crue mess that's going on right now. I don't really know what's going wrong between John Corabi and Mick Mars. Obviously, that Mick couldn't do a tour, but come on, guys, can at least you two get together and do an EP's worth of music? I don't know what's wrong. Maybe you harder edge Motley Crue fans can explain to me why those two aren't talking right now. So you may be asking yourself, and maybe you're not, what is next on the Jukebox from Hell, aka episode 52? Well, I was kind of dared to do this next one by several different people, mainly Richard the Music Maniac and Beetle Babe Jen, okay, and a handful of other. We've tackled John Lennon, we've tackled George Harrison, we've tackled Ringo Starr. The next episode will be Paul McCartney's from September 2005, Chaos in the Backyard. You betcha. And from what I'm hearing, there's a lot of chaos in this backyard. We will find out next time on Jukebox from Hell. And let me ask you, is there any albums that you want to suggest for future Jukebox from Hell material? Put them in the comments, please, and thank you. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, always powered by coffee each and every time. You take care, God bless, and rock on indeed. Yes, absolutely.